Welcome back, everybody, to Balance Basketball Academy. I'm Jordan. I was a former college basketball player, now turned trainer, and today we're talking about passers, the best passers in the NBA, people that we're looking at, that we're going to watch in film, and that we should be watching throughout the season to really get better at our game and really dial up our basketball IQ. These are people that I pick specifically for their ability to find others on the court. Obviously, it's a two-way street. Those other players have to make their shots, but I think that there's something really underrated about a great passer and somebody who's really able to look up the floor and find their teammates. And that's why I'm putting this in my Players to Watch series. I think that there are a lot of different categories of players that are important, and this is one of them, and these are some people that you can be looking at for your film sessions. Let's get into ours right here, starting now. Alright guys, I think the obvious one that we just need to address the elephant in the room. The best passer in the game right now, Nikola Jokic. And I want to take a look at the way that he hits cutters as he works, through the top of the key action, through screen and roll, as he's the roll man action, and how he's able to hit, guys for easy layups and dunks. First, even though, again, I know he does a lot of awesome, crazy passes, I just have a couple specific things I want to point out for the sake of the video and not making it super duper long. So I love this play in particular because it is Jokic in the secondary action instead of the primary action. Jokic is not, as much as we give him massive props for his ability to score, is not normally the primary ball handler. Normally that goes to somebody else as far as somebody moving the ball up the floor. So what will happen is there'll be some sort of screen action. They'll get the ball to Jokic as the play starts to break down a little bit, or as the defense starts to break down a little bit, and then he's able to kind of top it off with hitting somebody on a back door or making a shot for himself. Jokic is there's not going to be highlighted in this video. Jokic is very, very good as far as offense goes. I don't think that really needs to be said, but he carries a lot of gravity as far as basketball playmaking goes. That creates all these opportunities for him. So when he gets this pass right here on this back door, you got that defender who hedged really hard to try and deny the ball from him, and ultimately Jokic goes into a back door. Now we have a 2-on-1 situation. Jokic immediately recognizes that. He knows that he has Aaron Gordon on the baseline in the dunker spot, and all he needs to do is give him a tap pass. And it's really great because, again, he knows that Gordon is cutting. And the magic of it is, as simple as that read sounds, the magic of it is how fast Jokic is able to make these reads and how effortless he's able to do that. That's something that is kind of hard to teach, but the essence of why everything happened the way it did is still pretty simple. So right here, we get a fancy pass, but we have another chance to take a look at what the cutting action looks like. So right now, look at all of these Atlanta Hawks players. Everybody is watching the ball because Jokic has such gravity, and he has such power over defenses because, again, you're like, what is he going to do next? He's really hard to stop. He gets doubled right here, and the Nuggets offense, especially under Mike Malone, we'll see how they change this season. All of the players on this floor know that if they cut, they are going to get rewarded because Jokic will find them, especially if they're players ball watching. So we get that exactly right here where Trae Young kind of just falls asleep at the wheel. Jokic makes this really awesome pass, and then we get this and one. All because Jokic is constantly looking out for his cutters. So the next guy we're going to look at is none other than LaMelo Ball. And LaMelo Ball spent a lot of last season being injured, but we're going to get some new stuff from him this season. I'm excited to see. He is box office, and as far as his passing goes, he's kind of second to none in a lot of ways. He's really, really good. So let's take a look at what he does right here and break it down. So this is a nice looking play, but overall a very simple concept. LaMelo, similar to Jokic, has a lot of gravity when he plays. He beats his man off of a dribble move. More power to him, great dribble move, good stuff. Now he has several defenders working and clogging the paint. And that's the big thing, is when you have an offense, you want to have shooting threats and you want to have driving threats, because you can kind of push and pull and get the defense to be very reactionary to one or the other, right? If you drive a bunch of times, it clogs up the paint, but then you push it out to your shooting threats, and then it spreads everybody out again, and then you can drive, and there's that ebb and flow. And LaMelo is just using a very basic principle of, I'm driving, I get 2 on me, and now, because of the coverage that Adams has to provide on the backside, we have a 2-on-1 situation on the weak side, right? Now we got Desmond Bane, I believe, trying to guard 2 people, and he can't do that because, again, they're too spread out, and LaMelo knows how to find his guy. So he's able to make this really sweet pass inside by finding the open man, but it's just a matter of, I'm going to draw a lot of attention to myself and find openings that way. Very simple concept, but executed in a very pretty way. That's another one right there. So this is an example of the big man being the one who's open instead of a wing player. So LaMelo runs off of that screen. Now he's got 2 on him because his defender, I know it's very pixelated at this point, his defender is behind him. And so the post defender has to jump up and contest the shot, meaning that there is another 2-on-1 situation in which you have 2 Hornets players and 1 OKC player sitting on the weak side. What happens? Well, you pick the easy one right there. Williams is chilling in the paint. You have 2 people up in the air, not really recovered well enough to be able to defend the shot, and you get a dunk. It's really easy to, if you can get those players in the air and drop it off to your postman, you're going to get all kinds of great plays from that. The final guy we're going to look at is none other than Luka Doncic. And I think Luka Doncic is on par and ready to have a spectacular season this year, considering he has now spent a little bit of time with the Lakers. And I'm really excited to see the kind of chemistry he builds with DeAndre Ayton and continues to build with Jackson Hayes. So let's take a look at how he feeds his big men in these clips. Yep, easy plays right there. So Doncic really loves to reward his big men. Right here, we get that curl, and it basically works as a screen action. So what he does right here is he immediately realizes he has 2 and throws it up for the lob. No hesitation, just throws it up for Hayes. Because he knows that Hayes can catch it, and there's also a level of, hey, I am glad that you set the screen for me, and you get me a lot of open shots. I'm going to reward you. To the way that Luka plays. Luka makes big men, regardless of their skill level, look really, really good at basketball. And this is not an exception. Hayes looks really good on offense when he plays with Luka. So that's another example of rewarding your big man, right? Rui's operating as a big man for the sake of this play right here. And he recognizes you're putting in a lot of work on this post-up. You have position. There's nobody behind, right? There's nobody on this baseline that can possibly pick the pass away. So as long as Rui just holds the seal, he's going to be able to get a bucket. And that's what he does right here. He holds it until the ball gets right over him. Then he catches that ball for a layup. Luka sends it perfectly, right? Just high enough so the defender can't get to it, but that Rui can, and just delivers that ball with really great precision. But it starts with him recognizing, yeah, I got the play that's running right here. We got the screen. We're about to do these things. But no, I got a scoring opportunity right there. I'm going to feed it to my guy. He's going to get a layup. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's go. And that's it, guys. I know there's a lot of other great passers in the league, a lot of really cool people to watch, but these guys I wanted to shout out and highlight just because they're so uniquely gifted with the ball, and they bring a lot to the table as far as their ability to pass and to be able to get the ball around and to other players and getting their offenses involved. I think that's really important, and that's why they're in this video. So let me know if there's anybody I missed, if you think that these guys are great picks or not. Who are you going to be watching for their passing, for your game tapes this season? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, like and subscribe. You know, you've made it this far, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. Anything more is just extra. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.